When you feel like you can't go on, you're closer than you think. Hello everyone. Today I want to talk about something that almost all of us experience at some point in our lives. The moment when we feel like we simply can't continue. Maybe you've set a goal for yourself. Perhaps you wanted to lose weight, start a business, learn a new language, improve your finances, or build a better future. You began with excitement and motivation. But after a few days or weeks, you didn't see the results you expected. And that's exactly where most people give up. But here's an important truth. Success often happens right after the point where most people quit. Think about a seed planted in the ground. For days, sometimes even weeks, nothing appears above the surface. If someone didn't understand how nature works, they might think nothing is happening. But beneath the soil, roots are growing. Life works the same way. Many of our efforts don't produce visible results immediately. We read books, exercise, learn new skills, work hard, and make sacrifices. Yet it seems like nothing is changing. This is when our minds begin to play tricks on us. It whispers, "It's not working. You're not talented enough. Other people are better than you. Maybe this just isn't for you." But the truth is, most of the time, the problem isn't a lack of ability. The problem is giving up too soon. Let me tell you a simple story. Imagine two people climbing a mountain. The first person gets tired after a few hours and decides to turn back. The second person gets tired too, but they take one more step, then another, and another. What's interesting is that the champions of life are rarely extraordinary people. They simply stay in the game longer. They keep going when they're tired. They keep going when they don't see results. They keep going when others doubt them. And that small difference creates extraordinary outcomes. Now let's talk about failure. Many people are afraid of failure. But failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is part of success. If you study the lives of successful people, you'll notice that almost none of them reached their goals without setbacks. They failed. They made mistakes. They faced disappointment. But they had one thing in common. They didn't see failure as the end of the road. They saw it as a lesson. Every failure teaches us something valuable. It shows us what doesn't work. And every lesson learned brings us one step closer to success. Another mistake many of us make is comparing ourselves to others. In today's world, social media makes everyone appear successful. Everyone seems happy. Everyone seems confident. Everyone seems to be winning. But remember, you're only seeing the highlight reel of someone else's life. You don't see the sleepless nights. You don't see the struggles. You don't see the fears, sacrifices, and failures behind the scenes. Instead of comparing yourself to others, compare yourself to the person you were yesterday. Ask yourself, am I better than I was a month ago? Have I learned something new? Have I taken a step forward? If the answer is yes, then you're moving in the right direction. Progress is often small and invisible, but small improvements, repeated consistently, create massive results over time. Getting just 1% better every day may not seem impressive, but after a year, it can completely transform your life. That's why it's important to focus less on the final destination and more on the next step. You don't need to see the entire path. You only need to take the next step. You only need to be a little better today than you were yesterday. You only need to refuse to quit today. If today feels difficult, that's okay. If you're tired, that's okay. If you've failed before, That's okay. What matters is that you get back up. Try again. Move forward again. Because successful people are not those who never fall. They are the ones who rise every time they do. And before I finish, I want you to remember this. You may be moving slowly, but as long as you are not stopping, you are still making progress. Keep going. Believe in your dreams. Give yourself time to grow. And remember, hard times don't last forever. But the person you become during those hard times can change your life forever. If this video inspired you, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Not for me, for yourself.